Hey, everyone. Welcome to another Friday night bee chat. Hey, Michael and Dennis. Hey, there's Todd and Clay. And there's Bill. Let me go ahead and drop the link here in a minute. And no. And it's pinned. Hey, Rick. There's Matt. Hey, Mike. Hey, John. Hey, Russell. There's Mr. Bill.
How are you this evening?
Oh, not too bad, I guess.
Yeah, could be worse, right?
Yeah. Ed. Billy Lee. Russell. Yeah, I don't know. Been achy and all that, but I've been,
Uh-oh.
you know, just went to the chiropractor here a couple of days ago or yesterday, I guess it was. Worked out a little bit, pretty good.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael. Um,
Hey, Russell.
hey, Bee Nuts, honey.
Chris, how are you?
Say, Keith. And
Mike, how are you?
anyway, I don't know, a little bit of lower back issues, not too bad,
Yeah.
just slightly off and all that. But oh, I don't know. Went out and fed the bees yesterday and got out there, and I don't know. It's one of these hives right here behind me. I'm like, what is that hanging on that side of that hive there? And here's, I don't know, a pound and a half of bees hanging there up around the lid. And I'm like, everybody else is full of bees and the hives are full of bees. And so I got a telly cover and put it up underneath there and scrape, they all dropped out on the cover. And I kind of took hey there, Scott, my finger and kind of whooshed it around. And yeah, there's a queen right there, not marked. So I said,
Uh-oh.
she ain't one of mine,
Uh,
you know.
she
So
belongs to somebody.
and me now. So hey Kim. And so anyway, I had marked some hives that I had suspected whether or not they were queen or queenless, I'll say. So I went and looked at the one that was marked that way, and the two top boxes were full of nectar or sugar water, basically, and bees. And then down in where the open brood area would be, nothing down there. There's no brood anywhere. I said, all right, this is a good one. Just I dumped the bees in there. I had her caged and I went ahead and released her and she walked on down in there, put it all back together. And the bees all kind of got out on the outside a little bit. And then it was getting close to dark. They all went back in. So that was my big episode there. So I said, okay, you don't need no more feed. You got 2 boxes worth of feed on top. And then there was several of them there that were like that. I went ahead and fed the rest of them. I'm like, okay, they all got feed. And I think I need to let them, lay up some and get some brood hatched out, and not backfill them.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to mess with them for the next couple weeks at least. We'll see how the weather goes. It's been warm up here. It rained a little bit last night.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of feed in the hives. There's room in for them to lay. So let's get hey, Tiny Crate, and let's get let the brood go through its cycle and maybe get a couple brood hatches out of it, maybe.
Yeah.
Before cold weather sets in. And all that. So that's, I guess, about, and I might have 10 gallon of feed in the tank right now. And then I don't have anything mixed up. So that's good too. I had to tank down there with water in it, but I more or less to wash the barrel out some. So then Sandy from Icy Mountain out there in the Western Mountains, she texted me and she had a big, it looked like about a 2 or 3 pound box, bees, and she added a box and I said, well, it could either be space related Or maybe there is a queen in there. Who knows?
You never know.
I was surprised. I've never seen them. Seen a where I don't know whatever. I thought maybe it might have been that queen that went out and got mated and you couldn't find their way back. So who knows?
Anything is possible.
So like I said, I scooped them up. Hey, Dean, and hey, Billy, and so I just popped them in a hive. I knew there was no queen, so they got in a hive, So I just got off another chat. This guy had this really severe shotgun pattern brood. And I'm like, that white larvae in there doesn't look right to me. Rick says there bees seem to swarm around a new moon and a full moon. Been his experience. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And all. It probably has something to do with it.
It probably does.
So I said, it looks like to me it's Eastern, European foulbrood to me. So they were, what do you do this? What do you do that? I said, I don't know. I said, if you had some terramycin, you could take care of it that way. But now you have to have a script. They said they had some veterinarian in the club up there. I said, well, see what she can do for you. I said, any other thing I could think of is to start using some super DFM on there.
Yep.
I don't know whether that would. I have no
It'll
experience.
help.
It'll help.
Won't cure it, but it'll help.
Hey, Eddie, Dean, all that. So, hey, Chris. So that's, what's here. I'm just kind of winding down and not have to really worry about it too much.
Yeah.
And, hey, James. But, well, let's see. Did you get some rain here a couple days ago?
I did. We got about 3/4 of an inch.
I must have been the same week or the same days we got ours.
It probably was.
And all. Supposed to be 80% rain for tomorrow, maybe.
Yes, 90% chance here. We're supposed to get some good rain.
Yeah, Bracken.
Farmer buddy, Bracken.
Yeah, Bracken. It's that stuff you don't know much about.
Yeah. Now, Michael was texting with me there before the show started. Said him and Hives for Heroes are the only two vendors at what was it, Arkansas's or Alabama's conference there, Mike.
Yeah, Rick Sutton, here in Maryland, goldenrods are blooming. I went by a field. I guess I took a load of firewood yesterday, and it was probably a 10-acre field that has been let go, and it was just solid goldenrod.
Yeah, if you don't plant it, it's going to grow goldenrod. That's for sure.
Yeah, Bracken had sprinkles. Oh, it's that 2/10 of an inch, maybe.
Yeah, it's like rain, but it's not rain.
Yeah.
Hey, Roy.
He said it was Arkansas.
Yeah. That's hard to believe. Him and one other person is the only vendors there.
I don't know. Way out there in the middle of nowhere, I guess.
Yeah. Artificial rain.
Hey, Roy.
Yeah, my brother got some rain up in Vermont for a couple days. He said they have pretty good rain showers.
Now Rick's getting a little bit of nectar off his goldenrod. You're out there in Kentucky, right? I guess that's where. Yeah, you're out in Kentucky now, not in Florida. Yeah, that's something that I don't really get as far as the nectar flow goes on any goldenrod. I don't depend on that at all.
No, I don't either. But we don't have it here on farm anyway, so.
Is Michael? Are you out? He must be. Is he out in Arkansas right now?
Yeah, he's in Arkansas.
Okay, I didn't know. And Matt's out there. He's got Eastern Missouri and 3 inches of rain and all. And Bracken's about rabbit brush. That's something we don't have here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised the last time he was on talking about how much honey he got. And if you look at his videos, to me it's desert looking. But it seemed like they find that kind of stuff. I think some of his farmers out there they let the alfalfa bloom. That probably got him a good amount of honey that way.
Yeah, it's a good possibility.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever smelt goldenrod.
Smells like an old wet tennis shoe.
That's what they say. I don't usually smell wet tennis shoes though.
They're hard to miss.
And Rick says goldenrod will bloom in Florida in October and November.
Yeah.
Or I know you're out in Kentucky right now, Rick. When do you move back to Florida? In November or earlier? Dean said his friends got scales and they're bumping up 2 to 4 pounds a day.
Wow.
Bracken, you're getting ready to go out to getting the bees ready for California. Well, Eddie, you said you did the last of the mite washes. What kind of ratings did you get out of that?
Yeah. And how did your harbos? Oh, you haven't done them yet.
You hadn't done them yet.
You're doing them Tuesday. There's Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. Oh, my. Yeah, Bracken's getting them dialed in.
Yep.
Getting ready to go out there. Brazilian pepper. Now, Rick, what kind of a taste is that? Is that like a peppery taste, or is that sweet, or does it have more of a robust kind of a taste? Here comes Michael. Maybe. Yes.
Hey.
They have internet in Arkansas.
And it works. We hope.
Well, I might vanish at any time. If I freeze up, don't be surprised. I'm out here in the middle of nothing, so
we won't be surprised at all.
I'm up here in Mountain View, so I'm like 3 hours from
there it
home
goes.
up in the hills at the Folk Center. So it took me about 15 minutes just to be able to get online a while ago.
So.
I might be lagging for all I know, looking at the screen.
You're
know if anything's
you're
really matching up right now.
lagging a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
So are you selling any product out there in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah, it's not bad. The Arkansas show's pretty small. I haven't been up here in about 10 years to attend, and it's same size it's always been. There might be 100 people, and that would be generous. Oh. So I said there might be 100 people. That's kind of generous. They haven't had vendors up here in years, really. So it's just kind of out in the middle of nothing. It's not real convenient for anybody to really get out here if you're not from the area. Like I say, I have a 3-hour drive from home to get up here, and I'm it's not that bad of a drive. It's just distance and time.
Yeah. I know what you mean. It's been a long week this week.
So yeah, it's just me and Hives for Heroes in a room that's not much wider than my booth space.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little hunting show small. I put some pictures up online of the results today. There might be 20 total jars for all the categories, maybe around there somewhere. So.
Wow. What, on your Facebook page, Michael?
Yeah, that and Instagram. I think I put a picture of the winners up, and that's every entry is up there. You know what? I'm lagging pretty bad. I'm going to get off my laptop, and I'll log back on my phone because I'll get a good signal on there. So I'll be back in a minute.
All right.
There's not really. I'm looking at the pictures now, and there's not really anybody at the Hives for Heroes booth. It's just literature.
What's the thing called? Arkansas bee thing or whatever? Or is it his post?
No, it's Arkansas. Well, it's his post, but it's the Arkansas show.
Yeah, but are you under what, 21st Bees? And
Yeah, I'm on 21st B. Wow. There he's back.
That might work better.
Yeah, it might. Yeah, I was looking at your pictures.
Or
There's
maybe
nobody
not.
at the Hives for Heroes booth. It's just literature, right?
Are you guys froze up or just not moving?
Over here.
We're here.
Turn off the Wi-Fi.
Now Eddie says here he's got experience with fermenting honey and
Is that working any better?
Yeah, you're going fine tonight.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, you're much better.
I can't hear you. Let's see here.
Turn the volume up.
I don't know why I can't hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, there you go. Now I can hear you.
That's
Okay.
better.
Yeah, my phone had to catch up. I had to turn off all my Wi-Fi and just go to my 5G connection, and that worked. So I've got my phone propped up against my laptop screen, and it's sort of working. So.
Yeah. So the only thing that I can think of it would cause it to ferment in the hive is too much moisture in the honey.
They're not curing it or something.
Yeah, they're not dehydrating it.
Unless it's dirty sock honey.
Let's see.
Let's see what causes it. Yep, excessive moisture content. And they didn't dry it. Check your moisture level on it, Eddie, and see what your moisture level is. And I bet you it's up around 18, 19%.
I'd say more than 18 for sure. Lynn said maybe lots of rain in the area.
Yeah, that'll do it too.
Oh, hey, at our honey show today, we had entries that they were testing that were coming out like 22%.
Oh, really?
People had their 20s and 21s and 22s.
Wow.
I know my bees capped mine at 18% this year. But we've had a lot of problems in our area with people having 19 and 20s just because of all the humidity, and the bees just capped it off and put it away that wet.
Huh.
Yeah, they're maybe Bracken's right. Maybe they're going to make some mead.
Maybe they are.
So did they win anything there?
I think there's some cash prizes for the placers. I'm not sure what it was. I didn't pay that much attention to it, but I know they win. I don't know, $50, 100. I don't remember now. Yeah, they get some cash, some ribbons, some piece of paper.
I mean, that moisture content definitely is
Oh
high.
no, yeah, anything over 18 and a half, they're automatically disqualified. So that's the rules that they have that they go by. I don't know if it's the national standard or an Arkansas thing. Anything up to 18.5% they can count, but over that it's disqualified.
Yeah, that's pretty much a national standard as far as moisture content goes.
Yeah, see, my bees almost always cap mine at 18, and I never have any kinds of issues with them. I'm used to it, but I think this is the first year I've seen people having like 22s. That's pretty rare.
Yeah.
Well, we've had a really wet summer compared to what we usually do, though. It took a lot of people a long time to get their stuff capped, so it didn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I went out there this year, and I always take samples under the capping because it can be capped and still be too high moisture.
Yep.
Yeah.
And most of my stuff, I like it at 18 and a half or 17 to 17 and a half is my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I will get up to 18, and I'm a little bit sketchy on that, but try to keep it at under 18. And now, like what them people had there, they should have been testing, and then they should have dehumidified it.
Yeah, I mean we're not a real serious beekeeping state. I mean they didn't have big outside judges come in. It's more relaxed, so it's pretty relaxed. I mean it's just more for fun than anything. They had samples they were looking at it through the lights of the polarized filters, and you could tell he used like cheesecloth because they could see just tons of little fibers and things in it, and there's just things all over the place.
Well, don't you use the sieve?
They had some, people didn't. You could tell they were in it through a coarse filter, not a fine. So they're like tiny little micro pieces of wax and everything. I don't think people realize how close they look at that stuff. They've got the setup with lights behind it, polarized filters that just shows every little thing in them, and so. But it's not like the Georgia honey show. It's not real big time here. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just-
Brian from Flower Street. Yeah, I think there's a Maryland fall meeting.
Hmm.
Should be, there's usually 4 meetings for the state of Maryland.
yeah, see, we used to have a spring and a fall, but they just got rid of the spring just because of attendance. So we barely have a fall one now. It's been that way for a number of years. And it's not, it never moves. It's always at the Folk Center, which is up in the Ozarks. So there's lots of windy, twisty roads. And they said that used to be in the old days, I think Walter T. Kelly would come down and vend at it. They'd pull a trailer through all those windy roads. And then there was the local shop. They did it for a few years, but it got to where, if they shut down for 2 days, it cost them more money to shut the whole shop down for 2 days than just to come up here. And it just wasn't worth the time. And
Yeah.
I wasn't going to come until about 3 weeks ago, and they called, and I had a weekend free, and I just said, what the hey, and went ahead and came up here.
Well, you say at the Folk Center, what's it, a music event up in the
No,
mountains?
it's like a national park. It's like the Folk Center, the old timey, historic ways of doing stuff, and the kind of like Silver Dollar City, but on a national state park kind of scale. Showing all the ways doing blacksmithing and sewing and churning butter, and it's more of a historical area.
Mhm.
There's not maybe a couple thousand people that live in this town. That's really all that's up here. There's not even like a chain hotel. Everything's a bed and breakfast and cabins and lots of RV hookups. And so,
Yeah, Brian wants to be. Seemed like there's a lot of folks over in Copenhagen this week.
Yeah, there is. There's a bunch of them
Yeah.
over there for Upper
People that I recognize as far as I
Yeah.
know Cayman and the guy from that owns is it Alan that owns Foxhound Bee Supply?
Yep. He's
Yeah.
over there.
And several other ones that jumped out on my Facebook page. Which really Copenhagen is what, part of Germany or something like that? Holland or
Denmark, I think.
Denmark.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nice, safe place to go.
Yeah. I like beekeeping, but I don't think I could ever justify paying the money and the time to go all the way over there for that.
Well, really, from what I understand of it, it's not a place that you buy anything. It's like if you're going over there as a shop and you're looking to purchase from the manufacturer, I need, to set up an account with you or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it is right there. They preview all their new products coming out for the year.
It's more of a
Like a showcase, kind of.
a showcase, a manufacturer showcase.
Okay.
Like Lyson was there. Well, they had
You are so
a
jealous.
multitude of different. What's Bubba doing, Bubba?
Oh, he's being jealous because the wife is not here, and I had him locked out. He's the most insecure cat I've ever seen.
I know when I was there, he scratched the hell out of me.
He's also an enforcer, so
He went up there and I wasn't paying no attention to him. And he was like, "Hey, I'm down here."
yeah. You need to pay attention to me.
Yeah, I've had cats like that. My old one, all I had to do was point at somebody and say attack, and he'd go bum rush them and attack them. He didn't like anybody else but me, and my wife moved in with me, and he was jealous of my wife, and we had to lock him up in the bathroom at night for about a year because he'd wait till she's asleep, and he'd jump on her face and start clawing at her eyelids and her face, and he had his own separate bed, all his stuff, a separate set of everything, because we had a really big bathroom and like a laundry room. And we put him in there at night, and in the mornings I let him back out, and he would like stalk her and hide behind the furniture and jump out and attack her. And it's pretty rough there for a year or two.
Did she finally tell you it's either me or the cat?
No, the cat was there first, so it's one of those. I moved to college, and he was there with me, and she moved in with us a year later, so he was already there. He wasn't going to go anywhere. And then he lived like 18 more years after that. So.
18 years of terror.
Mm. He mellowed it out and made friends with her about those last 4 or 5. He finally got too old to do anything about it. Yeah, so I haven't had a chance to hit all the chats and stuff lately. So what's been going on lately? Anything interesting?
No, not much.
No, I was earlier been feeding, and last Saturday took off. Rick says if you get to Maryland show
Next year, he wants to go with you.
okay, I mean, yeah, as far as the show goes, on the state Maryland Beekeepers Association has like 4 different meetings a year. It's more like a club meeting than anything else, and all. But
They don't have a state meeting, do they?
no, they don't. Sometimes I wonder what their purpose is for. To be quite honest with you, maybe they supposed to be for political, far as state laws and stuff. But I haven't even seen that out of them that much. It's kind of a little. I mean, they used to when I first started. I don't know when I went to that club. I'll say 10 or more years ago. They have all kinds of vendors used to come out. And now hardly anybody shows up.
I had a lady get a hold of me from that Northeast region. I can't remember where exactly, but they're from the Merrimack Valley beekeepers up in that like New Hampshire-y kind of that region, I guess, somewhere. And I sent her some literature out, some samples, and what they do up in there is they have, I guess from the way I understand it, and I might be off, they have like a physical meeting, but then they live stream like 6 or 7 other clubs into the meeting, and they do it for everybody in like the surrounding, I don't know if it's that whole state or surrounding states. And they do like, educational things and raffles and all that for like everybody streaming into it. So they hit like multiple clubs because there's no like real organization for those other clubs to do that with.
Yeah.
But I can't remember exactly. I know it's the Merrimack Valley, but I don't know. Can't remember where they're out of exactly. But I guess they got a good number of people because all of a sudden I'm getting a decent amount of orders coming out of New Hampshire. So I'm assuming it's from those groups because I sure haven't been up there. I keep having people ask me to go to the Northeast, and I just really don't want to drive all the way up there. It's a long way. I'm barely going to Virginia next month as it is. So,
Yeah. Yeah, Rick, I'll let you know. Is it the Maryland show, Rick, or you're thinking of, or some other show? I don't know. Unless it's ABF. I don't think ABF's going to come to Maryland.
Neither. EAS is supposed to be in Kentucky next year.
Well, EAS was here last year, and it was only, let's say, an hour from me. And I didn't even go. EAS is so beginner as far as I'm concerned. And then a lot of it here, there was so much. I don't know. I don't mind the science speakers, but let's have some practical speakers.
Yep.
Let's have some guy that's going to show me I want the hands-on stuff where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah.
That stuff. But
if they're in Kentucky next year, I might go. Like Ardo's telling me, it's like a 5-day show, and a lot of them only go to like the last 3 days of it. So I might do something like that if I can work it out my schedule. Maybe just the last 2 or 3 days, since it's not a real park. Guy.
Some of them don't even go until the last 2 days of the whole thing.
What EAS?
Yeah.
Well, EAS, the last 2 or 3 days is when the vendors are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rick's, where's ABF at now? Where are they going to be at? in January?
Alabama.
Yeah,
I
they're
think.
in Alabama.
I
Same
think
weekend
maybe.
as Nobby
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
again this year.
Yeah, Rick ain't going to Navi. I can tell you that.
Hey, I've been talking to people over the last few weeks, and there's a lot more chatter about more people maybe not going to Nobby than I realized might not be going. I'm kind of surprised. So
Been hearing the same thing.
not just vendors, but people
Yep.
that go there that aren't necessarily vendors, but still they're well known, and
Yep.
yeah. Don't know how much truth there is to all of it, but there's been a lot of chatter.
Yeah, there's been a whole lot of talking going on.
Hmm. And I know I'm not in the loop, so I can only imagine how much is actually out there. I'm just probably hearing what's on the the edges of everything.
Well, I don't know what's going on, but the other morning I got a call from Cayman and wanted to know if I was still coming to this year.
Just out of the blue.
I mean, I was unloading pallets off a tractor trailer, unloading the truck, unloading honey off the truck, and phone rings. I look down, Cayman Reynolds. The hell does he want? I answered the phone. He said, "Are you still planning on coming this year? And if I see you got a bigger booth," and he said, "Where do you want to be in relation to Acorn? Because they've got the same size booth they had last year." I said, "We can do back to back. We can do across the aisle." He said, "It's whatever you want." So I'm wondering, they had a huge backlog of vendors. I'm
Mm-hmm.
wondering what's going on.
Or
Maybe.
are they dropping out like flies? Because I know you, Michael, were talking about all the extra fees and all this other stuff.
They might be.
And the increasing in booth, didn't you say booth fees went up?
Yeah, they did.
Booth fees went up. Now you're charging for storage.
Yeah.
And are you charging for dock time now?
No, there's no dock time
No.
charge yet.
Which, like, really, the storage fee isn't really that big a deal. It's like $15 a pallet or something, unless you're bringing a whole bunch.
When you bring 20 or 30 pallets with you or more, that's when it adds up.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and if you didn't get a big booth, like I got a big booth, I can store almost everything I'm taking in the booth. But I bought 10 pallets worth of storage as well because I don't know what I'm going to have for overflow or if I'm going to have any overflow.
That's me. I mean, I bought 8 spaces and I can put multiples in my 30-foot booth. I probably won't use it all, but I just really don't know how to plan for it right now. So,
yeah. I don't know how to plan for it either.
But no, so yeah, all these, like the booth fees really didn't go up that much. I mean, compared to other stuff, that stuff doesn't bother me. It's more the advertising sponsorship rate stuff that really.
Now, what was that?
What really changed.
You mean in order for you to advertise, let's say, a show discount on their website, on the Nobby website, they're going to charge you for that?
No, I don't remember exactly offhand. There's different levels. So different levels get you different access. So if you want to do like a bag stuffer and an eighth of a page ad, you've got to be this basic level sponsor. But if you want to go up to a quarter page ad, you've got to go up to the next level of sponsor, and it goes all the way up to where, like, just for somebody my size, I know bigger people can do it, but for my size, what cost me $540 last year would cost me $5,000 this year to get that same ad in a program.
Oh yeah,
they're out of their minds.
So the bigger ones are still going to do it, but smaller ones, middle-sized ones like me, it's just not worth it.
I didn't do it.
I know, as far as I know, already like Apemay's not doing it. I know there's a lot of people that just aren't going to do it, and we'll advertise on our own social media, and you'll see us when we get there.
Now, Rick, you say you would go to Hive Life. Is Hive Life still running?
No.
He says it is.
I thought they're having a show I thought that I saw something where they're going to try to have a show this year. I don't know if they're going to do it, but I saw talk about them trying to do one or something advertised about a date somewhere in a chat or online somewhere. I've seen it recently.
Where would you go to hivelife.com?
I don't know. I saw it on a group somewhere, so it may not even be real.
Yeah, they are. I'm looking at their
Are they?
Facebook page. It was posted November 4, 2024. Let's go to their website. January 4th through the 6th of 2024. I don't
Yeah,
think they're having one in 2025.
Yeah, it's like I don't see anything on their site about it.
Nope, I don't either.
Maybe I saw something posted, somebody's wishful thinking, and I just came across it.
Yeah.
But I have recently seen that posted somewhere, though. Talk about it. Let's see.
There's Rick.
I know the Midwest show up in Wisconsin keeps getting bigger and bigger. Last year was the first year of it, and this year it's going to be a whole lot bigger. They keep getting more speakers and more vendors, and it's going to be pretty good size. So that if anybody's in the area, that'd be a good one to go to.
Rick says he didn't think Bob was going. I'm pretty sure Bob Benny's definitely going to be up there. I think he's got a.
It starts 12. No, that's the last one. Let me do this.
Look at that. You go to Facebook and you search Hive Life, and the first thing you see is a picture of Bill right on the front of the postings.
Yeah, Rick, I see you in one of the things for last year for sure.
Yeah, I don't see anything new about it. Maybe it's just somebody's wishful thinking.
Does not appear. Doesn't appear that they're going to have a conference in 2026. Everything that I'm reading on there.
Good. I was wondering about that.
And you can search it.
I'll tell you, if they would have a conference and it was not the same thing as Nobby, a different time. I mean, I'd much rather go down to Tennessee if it was at the same place down there. The weather's better.
Yeah.
And there's more stuff to do.
Now there's a conference called Hive 2026, but that's not anything to do with bees. Life. Nope, they're not.
Hey, Rodney.
If they are, I can't find it. And it would be very well advertised if they were having it.
Hey, Grammy.
Yeah.
Hey, Grammy.
Lisa. Yep. I don't know.
But yeah, it's like say talking to people. I think if half of what I hear is true, there's gonna be a lot of people are gonna be surprised about all the people they don't see at Nobby this year.
Yeah.
Vendors, be personalities, not just vendors, so.
Yeah.
So, see how that goes.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who's there and who's not, and what happens with the size of the show.
Well, didn't Chris say they've already got the hall and booked next year? So next year it'll be double the floor space.
Yep.
So regardless if they can fill it or not, it's going to be double the floor space.
Yep.
Well, the thing of it is, they moved it on a different weekend. That was one of the things they wanted to do. Get it off for the New Year's. I mean, some people, that's a big deal for some reason. And of course, then you have, I know Bill had issues about freight, trying to get stuff there.
Yep.
Because of the holiday.
Yeah.
And shipping on the holiday like that, it's twice as expensive as it would be any other time for freight shipping. So
yeah, at least this year we can wait till after the new year to do the freight and get the normal rate on it for the first of the month.
Yeah, I mean, I had to line my freight up a month in advance to make sure they could get a driver to do it.
Yeah.
So, look, you got to stay down, or I'm gonna put you back out in the other room.
Todd liked to do it out west, which I get it. Let's see, you got that one in California, Todd. I don't know where it's at.
Yeah. So, Jill, is there a big beekeeping scene out like in the Colorado area? Would that be like a central location for like the western side of the U.S., or is that just not big enough to support something like that?
What state would it be?
Like Denver, like Colorado. I know Denver's got a big group out there, but I didn't know surrounding if you would draw more the Midwest people and the West Coast people. Because like where I'm at, it's actually faster to drive to Denver than it is to North Carolina.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
By about an hour. It's about an hour's difference. So, you're including the Texas people and then up in the Missouri, all those people. It's not that just a few hours difference if you like went to Denver compared to some of the places east of us.
Brian said not really though.
Yeah. Like I didn't know if they'd even have the numbers to be able to support it though, I see the California shows, but like I'm not driving out to California. I'm not shipping freight to California, so I'll probably never get out there unless we have other shows for other product lines, unless I did a piggyback and stayed for 2 or 3 weeks and did 2 or 3 different shows for all the different parts of the business. That's about the only way I do it.
Yeah. But
I mean, we've got the Nobby show. So you got the Nobby show east, and now we're getting more of the Midwest, the Wisconsin show up in Madison. So that's more your North Central.
Yeah.
And then you got
So
Scott.
Todd, that's a good idea for Todd to do. He could start Nobby West.
There you go.
There you go, Todd. You've got a good place out there. Have it on your place.
Yeah, and then I don't know. You got Tom and Melissa's. Their club puts on that one out there right in February. But the problem of it is, for me in February, where they're located and the weather. I mean, even Nobby's a little bit iffy. Weather-wise.
Come on now, Charlie. You said you'd go out there with me this year.
I would.
Well, that's like me. I'm going up to the Midwest show, so I'm driving up to Wisconsin in February. I've got the same kind of issues going that direction.
I tell you what, Michael, Charlie and I'll go out to the Missouri show and pick you up on the way, and you can ride out there with us, and you can hold a smoker out of each back window of the pickup truck.
What's that? You get diesel. Puff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So are y'all planning on going to that EMBA in February? The Tom and Melissa thing?
Yeah.
I've thought about it, and
it sounds really fun. I'll have to say.
It does.
It It's a good event.
It sounds like there's decent classes, or at least it was last year. It sounds like, the speakers are decent. I wish it was a little bit longer. It's only like a day and a half or something like that. And
Yeah,
and that
they've
kind
got those different tracks you pick from. So at least you have all the true straight beginners that don't know much of anything. They're on one. 200 of them are in one side by themselves. Then you got everybody else on the other side where you can get a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
And they added that intermediate day on Friday now, so I guess you can pick the intermediate and then hope you pick the right beginner or advanced for your second day of it, so you're not completely confused.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee.
I like how they do it though. They stagger all the breaks between the beginners and the advanced classes. So instead of everybody pouring out at once and then fighting over each other to try to talk to people, like the beginners will get out for 15 minutes, and then there's a 15-minute break with nobody out in the halls. Then for the next 15 minutes, the advanced ones get out, and they stagger it all day long. So you actually can have like space and can hear each other talk. You're not just dumping 400 people out to the hallway all at once, like a lot of the conferences do. It makes it a lot easier to actually talk and get around and see people.
Yeah.
But and then I'll have to say at Eastern Missouri, we know a lot. A lot of the Nobby, the folks from here on the live chats went to Nobby, and then we were also going there, which same kind of camaraderie type of thing. That's what I like.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm dragging my butt out there again, so I'll be out there.
As vendor?
Yeah, I'll be vending out there.
good to see you, Rick.
See you later, Rick.
But I think out of all the ones I went to this year, their event was the most similar to the big state meetings. Like North Carolina's almost 700 people at their state meeting, and that Tom and Melissa's thing's probably the closest to that scale and that kind of organization that I could kind of have to compare to.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's what I say. It has. I don't know. It's just it's from what I can read and look at. It seems to be well ran and everything compared to other shows that. I mean, there isn't really that many out there as far as any conferences. It's like
yeah.
Like Maryland had here. I guess it was before COVID. We had, or right after COVID, we had a couple speakers that came in and all, and it was, and those conferences were free. Meetings. I call them meetings. They're not conferences. And I said something to the folks up in Pennsylvania, and there was a couple of them that said, "How do you guys put this on for free?" I'm like, I don't know. We put dues out, and there's enough dues, I guess, to pay for everything. All right, Ed, we'll catch you later.
Night, Ed.
But I don't know. Maryland, they had Cayman come up one time. Well, I kept beating on them, saying, "Look, guys, you got the list on your flyer. Is it going to be a live person or is it going to be a Zoom person?
Oh,
I'm not going to travel that far because it's a Zoom person."
Right.
I got tricked into that before years ago. Me and a friend of mine drove from here up to community college in Missouri. I can't remember which one. It was like a good, 4.5 hour drive probably, because
Jesus.
the main speaker was, I think, maybe Randy. No, it was Oliver or Palmer. I can't remember which one. It was one of the two. Like, okay, he doesn't come down here a lot. We'll go up and see him. Went up there. They had their speakers in the beginning. Then all of a sudden they pulled down a big old screen and boom, there he is live streamed. We're like, What the hell? Never put it on a single piece of paper. Nobody, maybe their local people knew, but we sure didn't know. I ended up falling asleep in the second row of the live stream, and he could see us back, so he saw me there sleeping, I'm sure. My buddy woke me up when I started to snore, and I kind of shook and kind of came to, and he was like, he was laughing, trying not to burst out laughing, and it's like, wake up, everybody can hear you. And I looked around and I sat back down, and 2 minutes later I was out again, and he just left me there. So.
Yeah.
So, Grammy, are you going to making a booth at Nobby? I don't think you got any space at Nobby.
Well,
Yeah,
hey,
they told her she was a vendor.
if people are jumping ship, they've got room now. I mean, if you have somebody that has a 20 by 60 and they don't show up, you've got 6 10-foot booths now that are available.
Yeah.
So some of those waitlist people might actually be able to get on in there now. Just depending on how hard they have to fill up space.
Yeah, I paid for my booth a long time ago.
Yeah, I did too. So.
Yeah. She was on a wait list since July.
Yeah, because they put that deadline out a few weeks back saying, if you're not all signed and paid up by now, we're going to start taking people off the wait list.
The wait list.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess that means they're doing it now, I guess.
Yep. Sounds that way.
What, she got in because they plucked her off the wait list?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you going to be selling, Grammy?
I forget what she sells.
Well, Darren, come on down to Nobby and join the crowd. You can go sit by the pool at the hotel that's indoor pool and drink a margarita.
Bill, have you had a lot of people doing Nobby pre-sale buying already?
Nope. I haven't had one order.
No.
I'm
not even going to really get into advertising mine until probably mid-late October. Just trying to wait till I get through some of these shows so I don't have so much, confusing material and stuff out there with everything going on. But I've had people asking, but I was kind of curious if anybody was really moving stuff yet or not.
No.
So are you still planning on, you think you're still going to be able to have your new extracting line stuff there with you?
Oh, yeah. The new extractors will be there.
Everything going on schedule with that?
So far, knock on wood, everything's on schedule.
That's good.
I got some more pictures the other day. So,
okay.
Yep. They're getting ready to start boxing stuff up.
Yeah, I've got to get by your booth and look at them because I'm going to be on the hunt, looking around at some extractors while I'm there. So I need to get by your booth and see what you got.
All right. Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there selling acorn and selling extractors. New stainless steel. So.
Well, anybody else in the chat want to talk about some bees or what they're doing in their bees? Come.
But y'all, right before all that rain, so I got 6 inches of rain last week in about 3 days. Had a big system move through. And right before the rain got there, our goldenrod just started to pop. I mean, it's just starting to open up. So right now it should be really opened up and we should be getting our goldenrod coming in. We usually get a good goldenrod, a bumper crop of it. Last couple of years it hasn't been because it's been so dry, but we've gotten enough rain this summer. Everybody in this part of the state ought to be filling their supers up now. And I noticed I've been feeding, and last week they started taking it less. It started really slowing down. Whenever things are starting to pop.
Mine are slowing down a little bit too. We've been feeding pretty regular, and we fed last weekend, and some of them still had syrup in the feeders. So yeah, it's starting to slow down some.
Yeah.
It's slowing down a lot, actually.
As far as what natural nectar coming in or what?
No, they everything's packed up right now.
Yeah, I've spot checked at some of mine, and they had filled in quite a bit, and I had one 10 framer that had like about an inch of nectar or fluid left in there from the feeder, and I'm like, well, I ain't gonna even fill that up. I'm gonna let them go for a while, see what happens.
Yeah.
And but I think I'm gonna let them sit for a week or two,
Yeah,
couple weeks, and see how things are going, and getting that brood up and that kind of thing.
yep,
But
Since I feed mine with the jars, because if I give them big feeders, they fill in too fast. 'Cause the way my Russians are, they're starting to build brood up now, so I can't let them plug up all the room. I've been giving them all basically a quart every. I'll give them a quart, and then I'll skip 2, then I'll give them a quart, and they're
Yeah.
slowly packing it in nicely that way. And I noticed right before I left town, I gave them a quart, skipped 2, then I went back, and some of them still had half to 3/4 of a jar left. They just pretty well stopped just about taking it now. I'm starting to see some goldenrod pollen coming in.
yeah.
So
Jason wants to know whether he got storage tanks coming in Navi.
What do you mean by storage tanks? Storage tanks or bottling tanks?
that means bottling. Do you think it means bottling tanks?
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, if they come in, I'll have them there. If not, I'll have pictures of everything that's coming.
Did I see in a stream the other night somewhere that you're going to have some clarifying tanks and things too?
Yep.
They're coming in.
Hey, JW.
I've been playing around with a stylus stand that I'm kind of using for myself. Depending on how well things work out, I may take some of them to Nobby with me and just see what people think. I'm not sure if I will or not. We'll just kind of see what happens. See how much time I have.
Hey, James. James dropped a new video. Breeding for resistance. I seen that in Norway.
So I haven't seen that.
I seen the listing. I didn't see the video yet.
Yeah. Trying to think if anything interesting's been going on to tell you guys about, but life's been pretty boring. So that time of year.
Yeah.
Yeah, James, I post or yeah, let me see if I can post it for you, James. SBGMI.
Hey, Bill, do you sell wax at all? I know you buy and do the market stuff, but do you sell it like at your store?
Yeah, I do. I sell 1 pound blocks.
What do they go for up in your area?
$12.
Well, I brought a few with me here. Just I had people asking, and
Yeah.
I just kind of looked the last few shows I went to just to see what they're going for down here. They're going for about 15 for a 1 pounder. So I just stuck 15 on them just in case somebody wanted one. And I've already
Yep.
sold out of. I'm surprisingly I sold out of them. Well, I've got one left now.
Yeah, I mean, people buy them. It's just you got to be careful with them.
Yeah, it's not something I'd want to like normally carry. I just brought a few just because some people have asked, but it's kind of curious what wax go if that's kind of the going rate everywhere. Or
Yeah,
I know
it's
in the South it's pretty much about $15 a pound on most of the shows I've been at so far. To $20 a pound in Michigan. Ultra filtered, yeah.
yeah, mine's
Yeah,
clean.
the ones I sold, it's the stuff I bring in that spray my frames, and we have melting tanks that sometimes when we spray big deep frames, we do them so fast that we run the reserves out too quick. So I have to supplement with pre-melted. So at the end of the day, I just take that and just pour up a few molds and just did have a few.
Yeah.
So thankfully, I get it all nice and pre-cleaned already, so I don't have to mess with any of that.
That's funny. Roy was asked to go to a beekeeper's house and diagnose his 4 hives after the first mite march. I called the time of death. Never seen that many mites in a wash.
All right, Roy. So my mite washes, I get 70-ish. So how many more is it worse than that? I'm still waiting for somebody to have a higher number than me, so I'm kind of always curious to know what the numbers are. Cover the bottom of the cup. Okay. That's probably worse than what mine's have been then.
Brian Cooper had 82 this year.
I mean, I'm getting in the 70s, but I'm running a ton of drones, so I can't really, it's not really the same as a normal hive.
And then you don't treat, so I mean, your hives are getting through and all that.
Yeah. Well, say I'm running 20% drone frames and everything, so I'm going to have some big time numbers because I don't pull and freeze. I let them hatch.
Yeah, I do too. I got 2 medium drone frames in every hive.
So yeah, depending on where you sample from, I mean, you could take 3 samples in a row, and one could be 5, and one could be 50, and it can be all over the place. 82, yeah, that's a good number. Yeah, James, it's the way I do mine. I've been treatment free for over a decade, and it's been about 7 years since I took a good or like a real wash. That's why I just stopped, because for the way I do my setup, it doesn't really mean a lot to me. And I would just probably get horrified if I was looking at the numbers from just the way what they would normally mean.
Yeah.
It's one of those, it's better just not to look, because I always freak myself out, even though there's no reason to be for the way I do it, but still it'll throw you.
Yeah, they will.
So has the weather been cooperating with all y'all's treatments? Like, you've been able to get in everything you need to get in on time, or has that weather been messing y'all up?
I've got mine all in, but now James asked you, James, Michael's stuff has survived.
Yeah, I usually run, on average, I run about 20 hives a year, and I usually have, my average loss is 1 hive every year, basically.
Yeah.
Some years I won't have any, and every year I'll have 2, so it averages out to about a hive a year. It's usually the ones that are kind of weak going in that, honestly, I should have consolidated them, but I just let it roll, and they usually get picked off if I do that.
Now, what is it with you about queens? You do more like a walk-away type split thing? Or you just let the hives requeen themselves, or what?
No. So in spring, like around here, I don't open hives up until about April 1st. And then usually late April, I take every single hive I have, no matter if the queen's a year old or 3 years old, and I artificially swarm every single one of them. And then, I move them with barely anything with them. I mean, I move a queen, maybe a handful of cat brood if I can find a good frame, and just some resources, and that's it. I mean, it's a really hard artificial swarm. There's not much to it because I'm trying to get it as much like a real swarm as I can. I don't want to move a whole bunch of frames of cat brood and move mites and stuff with them. And then I move those, and then I take a bunch of cat brood off a lot of my hives and make some real big super hives of just a buttload of cat brood. And I do that to the ones from my better hives that have the queen genetics I want to breed from. So I always leave a frame or two of eggs in the bottom of those super hives I dump all the capped into, and I just let them hatch and bring in a ton of honey because there's no other, brood tending work to do, so they can get out and just go collect. And by the time they're done collecting and that whole cycle's kind of over with, that's about the right time I can go back in the bottom and pull out my frames that have got like 30 plus queen cells on them, cut them all out, spread them all over the yard, and make all my new nukes with them too. And I just do that one time every spring, and then I let everything hatch and go out and mate on their own. And then whatever actually comes back, that's when I start evaluating which one's the keep, which one's the snuff. So every year I kind of get a fresh turnover in terms of new queens and brood breaks and all that. I just kind of take advantage of the time to get a good honey haul in if I time it with the weather right.
Yeah, with the queens and stuff like that, I wonder whether or not we graft and all these different things, but should we simplify it and maybe actually be better? Like,
so when I swarm mine, I never snuff queens out. I let, it might be a 4-year-old queen, and, I'm running Russians and I do small cell. So I'm not working them hard where they're laying just a ton every year. So they last longer than, if I was getting on them real hard and really making a lot of brood. So I've had queens, I used to track them, and I have queens that I've kind of kept up with until like year 4. I don't know anymore. I don't even bother tracking it. I just, whenever they're going to requeen, I let them requeen on their own. And I probably don't know what happens half the time just because I don't look in my hives very often. I mean, if it's an established colony, I might look in them once every couple months, maybe. Generally, I just open up the lid and see if I need to put another super on or not and just let them roll. So,
as far as opening them up, you don't dig down the brood. You just keep plopping supers on.
Yeah, I go down into the brood and look for queens 2 times a year. So I do it going into spring to kind of look for any kind of signs of disease or any kind of problems or being queenless. And then when I get back home, kind of mid-October, getting ready to go in the fall, I go down deep, give everything a good look over. If there's some kind of issue I need to take care of, that's when I take care of it in terms of diseases or queenless or they just look too weak. But other than that, I'm just taking off lids. And if the bees are at the top and they need more boxes, I throw a couple on, and that's about all I really do to them. Other than that one time when I do that hard artificial swarm, that's when I'm getting in there and really doing a lot of work. But outside of that, I don't really do a lot of hands-on work in them.
So do they swarm or not?
No, I haven't really noticed them swarming because I do such a hard brood break. Those old established queens, I almost leave them nothing to rebuild from. So they just don't have the resources to swarm at all if they wanted to. And then when I put all that cat brood together, there's no queen there for them to swarm. So they go out and just collect nectar. And by the time the new queens are ready to hatch, those numbers have died down and I'm back in there breaking stuff up anyway. So I really don't have to watch them for swarming or anything. I just do my little system. And, over the years, I've kind of figured out what works for me. And now I just kind of do the same thing every year, and I really don't have to do anything extra to them. Every now and then, I'll have queens that mate and come back. And, some of them always putter out because they didn't mate very well. So I might have to take one of those hives and combine it. So when I think about numbers of hives that died, like in the wintertime, I don't really count the ones in the summer that maybe didn't get bred well and I'm recombining. I'm counting hives that are set up, look like they're set, they should make it, and they just don't make it to the next season for that break and that requeening.
Yeah, I had a guy call me up, and he'd been at it for, I don't know, 5 or 6 years, and he had a hive dive on. And I'm like, yeah, so.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I've never had a hive die on him, and he said somebody, either they sprayed some, I don't know, some Roundup or something around there. And I said, I don't, it could be, but I mean, they ain't spraying too much Roundup right now, as far as I know of.
Yeah, it's like mine. I mean, if I have a hive and the queen goes, they requeen, or she putters out and they requeen, then the dragonfly picks the queen off. I mean, that hive's technically, it's going to crash if I don't do something with it. There's no more resources.
Well,
So
he was talking about, he thought our governor banded, what's it called? Neonicotinoids. I'm like, I don't think so. It's on the seed and everything like that, as far as, corn and whatever.
yeah,
And he was, he kind of reminded me of the Fat Bee Man about 15 years ago. He was putting, I'll say, essence of oils in his hive, feeding them or whatever, and that's going to take care of the mites and whatever. And he said, I've been doing it that way for X amount of years and had never had any problems and never lost a hive. And I'm like, well, you've been lucky as far as I'm concerned and all that. But I don't know. I said, well, whatever, man. I don't know what else to tell you. He was looking for a queen. I said, it's too late in the season for that.
yeah. I mean, it's eventually going to happen. I mean, it's just how it goes. I mean,
yeah, you have to get to that point in your beekeeping life where when you get into the September, like where we're living at, everything's getting ready for winter.
Different.
Getting ready for winter, and there ain't nothing it's like there's nothing you can do. So just don't even fret over it. It is what it is, whatever happens.
Yep.
And you'll have to fix it in the springtime.
Yeah.
And then the main thing is, like you were saying there about how you're doing your queens, is that it's what I've learned in the last 2 years of me observing queens and how I manage my hives for high production of bees to get me more production of honey, is that I need to requeen every year, every spring. It's the easiest time to requeen,
Yeah, I mean, if I was doing like honey and stuff like you are, the rate that you're doing them, I'd probably have to do the same thing. I'd just burn them out too fast.
Yeah.
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 That's right. That's what I've learned here this year, that what I got new queens last year and I got 1,000 pounds of honey. Now the weather was decent too. This year I got a little bit more rain, right? I call it the locust rains. Every time it locust blooms, here comes the rain for 4 days. It ain't bad when it rains 1 week, 1 day or one afternoon out of a week. That kind of, gets the nectar flowing again. But when it just constantly rains day in and day out, that's when you lose it all.
Yeah.
But I like a procedure as far as, this is my system, you might say. And I've come to the conclusion in my, as far as when to requeen, I just need to requeen every spring and do it that way. It's easier to find queens if I need to buy queens. And then in the meantime, I'll be working on my own queen rearing, which I did this year. And I got back into it this year. And I kind of tweaked and fine-tuned my grafting part and my breeder cell builder and things like that. But I kind of left my breeding hives go. I need to get into that next year and fine-tune that so I have a better mating box, as I'll say.
Yeah.
James, how old was his queen? I have no idea, James. He probably doesn't even know either. The guy that called me.
Mm.
Hey, Mike. Good to see you.
Now, Charlie, I bet the way your queens lay compared to mine are usually pretty productive for at least a good solid 3 years. So you might be burning up 3 years of mine in just one season of yours, as heavy as you're laying.
I'm doing the Roland Demery where I'm pushing them to lay as much as they can lay. And I need them to fill that box up with all the eggs they could possibly, so they can't backfill it. And that's what I learned this year. Last year, they filled the whole box up, and I had to be on my top of it, pulling frames out all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So she would have places to lay. This year, she wasn't laying the whole box up. She was not up to speed, and they were backfilling in the corners of the frames with the brood in the middle. The brood pattern shrunk from, instead of being corner to corner, it shrunk down about 4 inches from each end, or 3 inches from each end, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, nah, I see what it is now. I see that, or at least I recognize it.
Yeah, James, in my frames, my small cell frames have about 1,500 more cells per deep frame. So I'm doing about 15,000 more cells in a deep box. But this year, usually I do all mediums unrestricted brood nests. So they lay up a brood nest about 4 to 5 frames wide, but they would go up like 6 or 7 mediums tall. But this year I'm doing deep and medium brood with a queen excluder, just because I needed to keep everything nice and clean for pictures and videos for my website. But next year I'll probably go back to half and half. I'll probably do a bunch of all mediums, and I'll do this other standard setup. But my Russian bees, I bred them over the years to where in the summertime, when we hit the DERF in Arkansas, which is generally 4th of July weekend, we start getting into the hundreds. My Russians completely shut down to where I won't have any cat brood in them whatsoever for weeks. And they kind of start putting little patches of brood away until about late August, because we're usually still in the 1 teens in August a lot. And then when it's time to ramp up for fall, they really get on it hard and heavy. That's part of why I can't feed them real heavy, because I've noticed over the years, I don't know if it's a Russian thing or if it's the genetics of the ones I've been raising. If I give them big feeders, they'll fill in so fast that I run out of laying room, and I won't get enough brood set for fall. So I kind of have to baby how much food I let them have to make sure they have enough laying room. And once they get to that spot where they've got plenty of brood in it, then I can just let them go. But by then, goldenrod's usually blooming. But that hasn't happened the last 2 years, and kind of screwed everything up. But this year looks like it's back to normal, where I won't have to babysit them so much. I bet I'm guessing I probably have a hell of a viral load, though, because since I don't pull mites out or do anything, and I let all that drone brood hatch, I'm not getting rid of mites. I'm just shifting them over. So, all those vectors for disease are still in there. But I don't know if I've just lucked out with my breeding where I've got genetics that can handle it, or maybe I'm just lucky enough to, since I keep breeding the mites that prefer the drone more, maybe they're just keeping the vectors on a lower level. I really couldn't tell you. It just,
you said
idea.
that your queen. I know I've had a Russian hive, and like you say, it'll shut down in the middle of the season like that. And I'm wondering whether that.
I get it. Yeah, I get a nice little brood break from that.
That brood break in there might help you out on that situation, even though you got brood frames.
So
I want to say
almost,
it's like hi to Dave from Southern Maryland.
So when I do that hard artificial swarm, I get a break in there. It's basically a break, so there's hardly anything I move. And then I naturally get another one during the DERF that lasts literally 2 or 3 weeks of just nothing. So I get a good hard break. So maybe between those two and weeding out genetics over the years, I just lucked out and got a combination that can handle whatever viral loads in there. Because there's a viral load in there. I mean, it's not like that just all went away all of a sudden. That's, it's got to be floating in there.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
but man, I took a hell of losses for about the first 3 years doing it that way, though. I mean, you're talking 90+% losses every year to work that out. So,
Yeah, I mean, you've told that before that, being
it's just-
treatment free, you have to be accepted of a lot of downfall for quite a while until you kind of get it. Or didn't you tell some people say try to do it regularly and then kind of ease into treatment free?
yeah, it's like tell them learn how to get good at making bees first. That way, you got plenty of bees to burn through without having to buy anything. But I mean, I used to sell nukes, but that's why I don't sell nukes anymore, because people would come buy them from me because they were treatment free and expect to be able just to stick a nuke in their normal hive and just not do anything and they'd survive. And that ain't going to work. And they get mad at me about it. I'm like, well, yeah, that's my stock, but you're not at my house with my conditions and my neighbors. And you're, to keep them the way you're going to do them, you're going to need to treat them, if that's how you're going to keep them. And I just got tired of the complaints about it, so I just stopped selling bees. Just
Yeah.
wasn't worth giving my good genetic queens away to people just for them to kill them in a few months. So
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah. It's just, that's like everybody talks about VHS or VSH or whatever. And they think it's a silver bullet. You put them in there and everything's fine. And it's I say not. It might be sort of a tool, but
Yeah.
it's not an end all.
No, it's not.
It might help. And then there's other opinions that might be just all so.
Well, I mean, that gets into, so are you artificially inseminating your queens? Are you letting them go out and open mates? I mean, you start watering down some of those traits pretty fast, depending on how you do your bees.
And then from what I understand into the science is that the daughters don't really have the traits of what the mother was.
Nope,
Yeah.
they don't.
I'm not going to go out and spend $300 and $400 on a designer bee because I'm letting mine just open mate with mutts. So I'm not going to get any money's worth out of it pretty fast. It's just going to be a waste for me.
That's very true.
So,
Well, I would
I'm
say if you can raise your own queens and just try to tune in on the genetics that you like about what your queens are doing for you, and you can build upon that, I think that's probably the best thing you could possibly do.
Yeah, it's like I told people, my bees are defensive, so doing it the way I do it, you're not going to walk out there without a veil on. And I mean, you've got to take that in consideration. If that's the kind of bees you want, you don't want to do it the way I do it.
I've never seen any of them kind of bees.
Mine won't light you up. I can drive the ride mower 3 feet in front of them, but if you open them up and they're not in the mood for it, you better have gear on, because they'll let you know real fast. And they'll follow me around the front of the house. And I've sat in my truck for half an hour before the window's up with my suit on, waiting for them to go away so I could strip everything off and not get lit up. But that's if I'm opening them and messing with them. If I'm just working around them, they could care less if I'm there most of the time. Unless I'm messing with a feeder or, poking around the front of them for some reason. Trying to take a video of them because DC or somebody dared me to do it, and then they start coming after me, or, one of those deals. So,
Well, I don't know. It's like me. I mean, I'll have some hives you can open up, and I don't really much use smoke, at all. And they just sit there calm and say, well, what do you want, And then if you kind of open them up, pull some boxes apart, they might get up in the air some and fly around you. But I get to the point where I just don't pay much attention to them. And it seems to be fine.
not mine. I crack a lid open. I've got 10 or 15 buzz in my face telling me that they don't appreciate it and put the lid back now. Every time they're there.
That's like David there. He's down in Southern Maryland for me. He's been raising his own queens, and he's had one pain in the butt queen. And like you say, headhunters. I always get them ones. You always got two bees that will come and meet you at the pickup truck, and it just buzz, 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 buzz. You know, I'm like, what is it with you people? You know, and you kill two of them, and then here comes two more. Hey, Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
And all that. So, Mike, with Easy Ox, what's happening with you all out there in Ohio? I know you're making Easy Ox, oxalic acid, good stuff. I'll be using my bag here in, I guess at least another month. Super busy. Selling a lot of product, hopefully. I see it here, there, and everywhere across the internet. Clay's spending more honey, huh? Making money. All right. 5-pound buckets. Ordered, won't be long. Let's see where we at here. And he also has Easy Ox extended release strips, I think is what we're talking about here. So hopefully that'll be another great product.
Yep.
Hopefully be out in the springtime.
Hey, do you guys have?
Look at that. Wow, right there. EPA 4 grams per deep box upgrade.
Oh, cool.
Look at that.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Tom and Melissa wants to have, send me a message when it comes in. That's good. Glad to hear some things are starting to happen for you. And I know it's been a real uphill battle with the EPA and everything.
Mm-hmm.
A guy was in here today dealing with the local county government over what do you call it, erosion control, and building a house, and the left hand, all that kind of stuff. All right, should be the 4 gram thing. Should be here any day now. So that's telling you, from what I gather, is finally EPA's. You'll actually be able to put 4 grams in them deep legally.
Damn. That's pretty good.
That's wonderful. That's big good.
I was about to say, so since I don't do that, I don't know as much about it. So I heard you all talking about doing the 4 gram. So I guess the EPA hadn't cleared it before now. So is the issue you haven't been able to buy it in a 4 gram application size? So you just kind of get it pre-measured that way. The bigger is more the deal.
You're buying the powder in a bag, and you're supposed to be, originally when it came out, EPA said 1 gram per brood box.
Mm-hmm.
Well, over 10 years ago or more, the Europeans were the first ones that started this stuff. And they had been doing it probably 10 years before the U.S. ever thought about it. And when they legalized it, they said, well, 1 gram per brood box. Well, the Europeans said, well, we've already figured it out 10 years ago or more that you needed 2.25 grams per brood box to be effective. And that was 10 years ago. So now here in what, a last year or so, Bill, they finally approved 2-gram dose. And then Bill found a study on one of the things about maybe the bees or the mites are getting used to it and whatever. And now Mike's finally getting it to where he's going to get it legal on his product of oxalic acid, where we can put 4 grams per brood box. Now, I've always figured 3 grams per brood box would probably be the most effective, due to knowing the fact that Europeans had been doing 2.25 grams and all that. So,
That's the So, I know beekeepers are going to use whatever works. So has it been more of since he's not being able to package it in that size, it's just been more of an inconvenience factor, having to use multiple tablets to measure it out, or?
No, it's been you nailed it on the head. Beekeepers are using what works.
Yeah.
And when it first came out, 1 gram worked, and then it quit working. It was holding the number. Then they moved it to 2, and 2 grams quit working. It was just holding the number. Now they've moved. It looks like they're moving it to 4, but almost everybody's been using 4 for quite some time. So we'll see how long 4 works.
Well, with the EPA, has it ever been just packaging sizing or product sizing for packaging? I mean, unless an inspector's sitting there watching you do it, I mean, it's not something that's enforceable at all then, right? Basically, I mean,
it is
more
enforceable.
Yeah.
They follow the law of the label, and they're to the letter of the law, and they know how much residue to look for. Put it that way.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering, how they could actually say, if I wanted to do something crazy and put 10 grams in, it's like, how's an inspector going to know? Is there something measurable where they can go back and try to figure that out, or do they have to physically be there watching me do it to actually be able to prove anything?
No, they don't have to be there to watch you do it.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Since I don't use it, I don't know exactly how that residues or any of that works. So,
right.
Well, it's just, when it comes to oxalic acid, we've had a lot of, what would you call it? Evolution.
Yeah. It's
where first we started out that one thing, Obama was in there, the presidency, and he got the EPA to legalize it. Don't run all studies. Just take what everybody had, the studies from Europe, look it over and approve it. So that's the start of it. And then we had the little burn pans that you hooked up to a car battery. And then here come whoever it was invented it over in Europe, Man Lake and them guys brought in the ProVap. That was the first vaporizer gun, and that's what I still have. And then here comes Larabi, but he made his own vaporizer. Then he started buying the ones that you see today, the battery pack jobs that are made overseas. And now they've had, 4 different models of them things now?
Yeah.
There's like 4 models, different size, capabilities and all that stuff. And then everybody's going towards the battery operated stuff and all that. And now we're back to dosages where, one's not good enough. Here, a year or 2 ago, they made it 2 grams. Now Mike's saying that he's hopefully going to be able to approve for 4 grams. And all kind of stuff. Now David there in Southern Maryland, maybe I'm not following the 4 grams leaves a big I believe 4 grams leaves a big white scuff mark. I don't know. All I can tell you is that that when you're up around 3 to 4 grams, I think that's going to be a good kill. And now we've got Viroxan, is it? Which
Yeah.
is now they're telling us first it was going to be putting it in the hives just to hold the population of mites. Now the makers are saying it's a knockdown. So I don't know who to believe on that part of it.
I think Viroxan ended up being a little stronger than they expected in the beginning, and that's why we got a knockdown with it.
And
Don't
all
you
that.
agree, Todd?
Yeah, and I think that's why the wax was pulled back too.
Yep.
It's a little bit. So you got all this here. It's been developing, and now seems like to me right now it's kind of picking up speed a little bit, which is good.
Yeah.
As far as the government is finally catching up to the rest of us. Let me put it to you that way.
Yeah.
Well, I
See,
I better clarify. So when I was talking about this hypothetical 8 grams or whatever of OA, for either of the Arkansas state inspectors that might be watching this, I don't use OA. It was a hypothetical. So don't come knocking on my door asking questions. Just in case. Just let you know.
Yeah, but it used to be, now it's 2 grams per brood box, which is 4 grams total if it's a double deep or 3 mediums or something like that. And now we're going to go boost that on up to 8 grams, 6 to 8 grams.
Yeah. So it'll be 4 grams per brood box.
Well, you don't have to use 4 grams.
No, you don't have to, but you can now.
Yeah, now, or when it does get approved, let's say that.
Yeah, when it does get approved. And
then I think from what I kind of gather, Mike's the only one, Easy Ox, Mike's the inventor of Easy Ox. His packaging was the first packaging that I understand it had 2 grams per brood box written on the label. And now he's going to have 4 grams. Now, whether the rest of these...
16.
Huh?
I was looking at the 8 to 16 baby comment.
Well, let's face it. When you're getting to the point now where, you wonder whether that's going to overdose or kill your bees,
Yeah.
After a certain point, it could be detrimental and stuff like that. So, and then you got Bob Benny down there testing 2 or 3 different products here recently on the videos.
Yep.
You got the Canadian stuff that you lay across the strips or across the frames. Then you got Viroxan that you're supposed to lay over the frames and down into the things. And then you got somebody else was telling me they were taking the Viroxan, cutting them and putting the toothpick in like Aprivar and hanging them so they get right in the center so they don't burr the comb out, which I tried that with Aprivar and that never worked for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that Viroxan is strong enough. It really doesn't need to touch the wax to melt it down.
Yeah, see right there, Mike said they were the first ones to push and get it increased and improved, and it's on their label. You never seen that anywhere else. Matt says 4 grams coats the bees very well. Well, I guess. I don't watch the bees when they're getting coated. All right, and Mike's strips are going to lay on top of the frames, which to me, that is a heck of a lot easier to apply compared to flipping them over the top. Hey, Mark.
That's what I do with my pads. Put them right on the top bars. Easy on, easy off. Mike, that's what you should call them. Easy on, easy off.
Yeah, really.
And then you got Clay talking about old Cameron Jack there. I don't know what he's been talking about lately. I seen him here at our Maryland state meeting. I think it was a week before he stayed on Cayman's live chat, and he was kind of denouncing, oxalic acid vapor. But the only thing he proved to me was it doesn't work very well in the warmer climates. But then I have other people staying on this chat that it does. It's all, oxalic acid is a good knockdown anywhere in the country and all. And, but as far as like for us, where we got winter and they're broodless, it works even better for us.
Yep.
Well, I'm sure that Chris, that if you got a Larabi's thing, they will come out with a upgraded model plunger for you to buy for about $50 a piece or $100 a piece. Don't worry, they'll come out with one.
It depends on your vaporizer.
Depends
on the vaporizer.
Well, you might have to trade yours in. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
You might have to trade it in, get yourself an upgraded model.
Yeah.
Hey, steel prices are going up, so if you want to do something like that, get it sooner or later.
I don't know. Mine went down. I'm running a sale on them.
Well, I say regular, yeah. I guess stainless is different. I know overall the metal market, we're at the lowest point we are right now, like ordering raw materials. From now till this time next year, it's just going to be going up every single month again. So I've had to order truckloads of steel for some of our other product lines. Same with plastic. This is about the bottom dollar it's going to be probably for the next year, and everything oil-based is going to be going right back up again.
Yeah.
And all that. So Mark Miller, are you out on the truck tonight or are you home?
He's got to be home. It's Friday.
He doesn't necessarily have to be home.
I think he is.
And Brian?
Just my guess.
Brian's using oh, you mean Mike's tablets, Brian? That's one thing Mike does. Easyoc has either the powder or the tablets. And the tablets are, I think, 1 gram tablets.
Yep, they are.
And you can use them in a vaporizer, or especially a person still using a pan. It would be perfect for a pan. Just plop, plop, fizz, fizz, and there it goes.
I remember that commercial.
Plop, flop, fizz, fizz. And the bees will say, oh, what a relief it is.
Well, I think I'm gonna. Well, never mind. I will hold my tongue until beginning of January. But I'll be entering a black jar entry. So
At Nobby?
yeah. Yep. I don't know. The way you guys were talking earlier, I'm thinking, man, I picked the wrong year to go to Nobby. Sound like
You may have.
I want to go there to see all the vendors. I mean, that's a big draw for me. I want to see everything available. We'll see.
I was talking to Tom last night and asking him, because I really don't know. So just in generalities, so all the deals that you get at Nobby for all the vendors, I kind of wonder how much somebody needs to spend overall to for the savings to pay for their trip out. I mean, if you're only going to spend like $1,000, I don't know if you actually really save in the long run or pay for the trip. But I don't know if you have to spend like $5,000, $10,000 to make it all, all the savings add up for all your time and fuel to haul it back and all that, or
that's all. Yeah. That's all.
If that's the only reason you're going, just for that specific purpose.
No, you can't do it. That's all sales pitch as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you go there. I go there for the camaraderie with everybody here on this chat. we're gonna, like Tom and Melissa, we got the party room, lined up, and we have a great time getting together there and socializing before the big show starts. And we get to see, if you have never met Bob Benny, you can find him, or whatever, and say hi to him or get his picture made with him or whatever, you can get my autograph,
That's why I'm going, Charlie.
That's right.
That's the only reason.
Oh
And
my
all
God.
that,
I
or
told you
you can
that.
get your picture made with me, and all that stuff. And
I was just thinking, it's like,
I'll tell you this. It's like Mike there from, for the Easy Ox. All right. He came to the party. I was co-hosting last year, and we got to talking a little bit. And then I seen Mike at his vending table over there, and I spent a half an hour with him. And he told him his story about how, what he went through or what he is going through at that time with EPA and all the
Yep.
and I'm talking thousands and thousands of dollars that man has spent to
oh
try
yeah,
to get this stuff approved, and how they've hooked and crooked him and fleeced his pockets and everything else. And in order to get product out for us.
Yep.
And stuff like that. And it's like I say, anybody that's one oxalic acid, you buy Easy Ox, and you're helping Mike. He's a beekeeper himself, and also he's a veteran. And don't worry about corporate America. Take out, help out Mike. And
I'm surprised this weekend and back in Georgia, still like all these shows, how many people are surprised when they're asking about my products and we're talking, and I reference, this is how I'm using them in my bees, and they all go, "Oh, you mean you're a beekeeper? You have bees?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I'm a beekeeper." I mean, how many people are making things that aren't beekeepers? Apparently, it's more than I thought, because everybody's surprised when I tell them I've been keeping them, 13 plus years. It's like everybody's shocked. It's like,
well, I think a lot of it is the vendor sitting there. He's just a salesperson.
yeah,
They're just selling a product. You might be working for, let's say you're working for an extractor company. Well,
Charlie, I may resemble that remark now.
yeah, well, you're. But let's say you're working for Cowan Extractors, you might not be a beekeeper. You're just a metal worker, and a salesperson for Cowan.
yeah.
So, but
It still strikes me when they get surprised every time they ask. I just assume that everybody that's got a store, owns bees, and everybody that has a bee type product that's, related to getting in a hive. I just sit there and assume that everybody's a beekeeper, or you wouldn't be in that business. But I'm obviously wrong. So
I would think though that that you would be in it, or you would dabble in it enough to know what your product can do and what it can't do, and because you've got experience with it.
yeah.
That.
Well, it's like somebody asked me earlier what my cutoff was for shipping. Well, most people, when they ordered stuff for Nobby, they ordered $500-$600 worth of stuff. So if you want it shipped and you're still going to go to Nobby, that's fine. You buy over $500 worth of stuff, it's free shipping, whether it's LTL or UPS. It's free.
Yep. So anyway, and Mark was planting some clover seed. He was telling us, Mark Miller. I forget what else he said he was doing. Something with these bees.
Yeah, I think he said making patties.
All right, pollen patties, I guess.
Yeah.
All that.
It's
So what's
almost-
happening with Todd out there? You doing anything special or?
No, it's kind of a wait and see time right now for me.
As far as blue curl goes and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Whatever they collect, I'm just gonna let them have. I won't be able to get anything from them unless I'm totally surprised tomorrow or Sunday. I'll be out there tomorrow, but yeah, I'm just, I'm waiting for the 10th to get right, which is going to get next week for Apigard, and then I'll probably do 3 in the 30s and be done with it, and go from there. I've got a lot of frames I need to bring back because most of those supers don't have very much in them, so I'll be doing that too. And then I've got to spray those down and store them. That's about it. Not too much.
Yep. So, well, everyone, it's getting close to 10 o'clock there. Go ahead and shut the stream down, and good to see everybody. Mike, good to see you in the chat, and everybody else that came on tonight. So we will see you Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and on Bill's Bees all day, and then back on mine next Friday. And let's see, Nancy's on what, Tuesday nights?
Tuesday nights at 7:30.
7:30. And all that. So, all right. Well, we'll see y'all later.
Night.
Good night.
Bye.
Nah.